Okay, let's talk about the IELTS advantage/disadvantage essay. If you've ever just stared at one of those prompts and felt your brain freeze up, trust me, you are not alone. It's one of the trickiest parts of the writing test. But what if I told you there's a simple formula to crack it? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today.
Does this feel a little too familiar? That moment of panic when you're trying to brainstorm, weigh all the pros and cons, and somehow build a logical argument, all while that clock is just ticking away? How do you even balance both sides without sounding confused? Where do you start?
Well, here's the secret. There is a blueprint, a really clear, repeatable formula that top-scoring students use to build a perfect essay every single time. And today, we're going to walk through that exact formula step by step. So, first things first, before we can build the perfect essay, we have to really understand the challenge. I mean, what is the examiner actually looking for when they give you this kind of question? Because getting this right, well, that's the foundation for everything else. On the surface, the task seems pretty simple, right? Just look at an issue from two sides, the good stuff and the bad stuff. But the real key to a high score isn't just listing them out. It's all in how the question asks you to discuss them. And this, right here, is a super important distinction that trips up so many people. You're usually going to see one of two key phrases. The first is, do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? This is a direct command. They want your opinion. You have to pick a side. The second just asks, what are the advantages and disadvantages? This one is more of a balanced discussion, but you still need to land on a really clear concluding thought. And that leads us to the single most important rule for a high score: always, always answer exactly what is asked. Your number one job is something called task response. So if the question asks for your opinion on which side is stronger, you have to state it clearly. Don't ever leave the examiner guessing.
Okay, so we get what the question wants. Now, how do we build the perfect answer? This is where we get into the good stuff, the Band 9 blueprint. It's a simple, powerful, four-part structure that just works every time.
And here it is, the entire foundation of your essay boiled down to these 4 parts. An introduction, 1 body paragraph for advantages, 1 for disadvantages, and a conclusion. That's it. It's clean, it's logical, and honestly, it's exactly what examiners are hoping to see. So let's break down each piece. Your introduction has 2 simple but absolutely vital jobs. First, you've got to paraphrase the question. This is your chance to show off your vocabulary right from the very start. And second, you need to state your thesis. Think of this as a mini roadmap for the examiner, telling them you'll discuss both sides and, this is crucial, which side you think is stronger if the question asks for it. Now for the real engine of your essay, the body paragraphs. And here's the best part. Both your advantages and disadvantages paragraphs will follow the exact same powerful 3-step structure. You start with a clear topic sentence. Then you explain your point. And finally, you support it with a specific example. Topic sentence, explanation, example. Seriously, memorize that. It's the absolute core of the blueprint. And to finish strong, we have the conclusion. Your job here is simple. You briefly summarize the main points you've made, and then you restate your opinion, making it sound decisive and final. The biggest rule here? Absolutely no new information. This is all about ending with clarity and confidence. Okay, so the structure is locked in, but to really elevate your essay from just good to great, to a Band 9 level, you need the right language. This is where we move from just communicating an idea to crafting a really sophisticated academic argument. Just look at this. This is a perfect example of leveling up your language. A basic essay might say, it has bad points, right? But a Band 9 essay says something like, a notable drawback lies in the fact that. You see the difference? It's the same idea, but it's expressed with so much more precision and academic flair. This is how you get those top marks for vocabulary. Next up, let's talk about flow. Using powerful connectors, what examiners call cohesive devices, is what makes your essay read smoothly. Instead of just listing points, you use words like furthermore to add an idea, or however to show a contrast. Think of them as the glue that holds your entire argument together. All right, we've got the theory, we've got the structure, and we've got the language toolkit. Now for the really fun part. Let's see this blueprint in action. We're going to deconstruct a real Band 9 essay to prove just how effective this formula really is. So here's our sample question, a classic IELTS topic on online shopping. And right away, we should spot that key phrase. Do the advantages outweigh the disadvantages? So we know immediately the examiner is looking for a strong, clear opinion from us. First, let's take a look at the advantages paragraph. The argument here is all about convenience. It feels pretty well argued, right? It's convincing, but why? What is it that makes this a Band 9 paragraph? Well, it's because it follows our formula to the letter. You can see it highlighted right here. It starts with a super clear topic sentence about convenience. Then it explains what that means, browsing from home. And it finishes with a concrete example, people in rural areas. Topic sentence, explanation, example. It's that simple and it's that powerful. Now let's look at the disadvantages paragraph. This one focuses on the loss of interaction and the risk of being misled. Again, it sounds very convincing. So let's see if that same formula is at play here. And yep, if we put it under the microscope, there it is again. The exact same structure. A clear topic sentence about the drawbacks, an explanation about losing face-to-face interaction, and a specific example about customers being misled. The formula is consistent, and that consistency is what makes it so incredibly effective. So let's zoom out for a second. Why is this a Band 9 essay? Because it absolutely nails all 4 of the official criteria. For task response, it fully answers the question with a clear stance. For cohesion, it flows logically. For vocabulary, it's using impressive academic words. And for grammar, the sentences are complex and accurate. It's the total package.
So we've deconstructed the blueprint, and we've seen it work in a top-scoring essay. Now it's time to go from theory to practice. It's your turn to be the architect here.
Here's your practice question. Take a second to think about studying abroad. Using the blueprint we just went over, why don't you try brainstorming one paragraph for the advantages, maybe something like cultural exposure, and one for the disadvantages, like the financial cost. Then you can practice writing a clear introduction and conclusion where you state your final opinion. You now have the blueprint. You've got the language tools and you've seen a real-world example of how it all comes together. The formula is all yours. So the only question left is, are you ready to build your own Band 9 essay?